Hi, folks. I'm Tom Onchitz from AT&T, and let's see. I'm going to hijack the talk like I normally do. I'm going to start by trying to go through what I was asked to do very quickly, so that I can beg to talk about something else at the end. All right. So why don't we get started into what AT&T is expecting and hoping that the ONF and the new leadership, the new sort of game we're playing at the ONF can do for us. So to begin with, where does ONF add value? And if you have a look here down the left side, clearly SDN, one of the few places that you can actually get channeling guru. Real SDN is from the ONF projects. But also, interestingly enough, along the way, they really were very pioneering on doing microservices architecture, where from many other sources, we're still looking at VNFs. That we've been trying to get into the disaggregation business by working on new specs at OCP. And a lot of times the white box hardware doesn't come with a complete stack like we get from the vertically integrated boxes. And so ONF has really been a good partner with OCP. I remember there was a question earlier in the day on how does ONF relate to OCP, and I think they're joined at the hip, frankly. And then last but not least, having reference systems that people can take into their labs and trial. You heard all about the exemplar platforms just before we came up here. Those are actually quite useful in getting more people sort of on board and understanding what's going on. So those are the areas. What is AT&T interested in? It comes in two tranches, right? And the first part is near term. You can imagine the near term as something that might happen this year and next year. And we're definitely very interested in VOLFA. You'll be hearing about, we have had PON systems in field trial with Chord or some variation of Chord software for nearly 2 years, I think. And I think we're upping our game, as you'll hear later in this particular ONS. But we're also not just interested in VOLFA, but rather also in multi-access edge. That's really interesting for us. And we think that M-Chord is a really important area. There's been a lot of discussion about some of the things that 5G might bring into the wireline architecture. And so there are a lot of things, I think, to kick around and do not just field deployments, but actual trials and tests and exploratory work as well. For the medium term, there is no long term, by the way. We've said that earlier, and there's my concept car, it seems. So in the medium term, we think that these same areas don't just have things we want to deploy this year, but also things that we're interested in having further down the road. And so understanding how to bring in BNG capabilities and integrating with large system orchestration platforms is important. We think that the access edge or the multi-access edge might change abstractions over time and become more of a cloud and less of a peripheral. And that a lot of the M-Chord work is probably going to hopefully test how we can disaggregate mobility as well. So there you have it. That's what AT&T is interested in. And I'm going to spend the rest of my time shamelessly on another topic. And that is, what are we looking for from the ONF and from this engagement? And frankly, it's really not about the engineering artifacts. I know you came to hear about that, but that's not really what makes open source work. And so I'm going to channel, these are, in all the time that I've spent looking at charts at these kinds of shows, the following two charts are the ones that I believe are the best two charts I've ever seen in my life. And they come from David Myers, so thank you, David, wherever you are. He came and talked, probably was talking about Open Daylight at the time, but it's okay. It's all the same, right? he came and talked about it and said that, he's learned from engaging with the web scale folks, with the Amazons and the Googles and the Rackspace and the Facebook, that really it isn't these engineering artifacts. It isn't the Onos, I'm sorry. It isn't the Cord. It's actually getting together the engineering systems and the tool chains. It's getting the right culture for solving problems, and it's getting the right people and processes together to actually execute on that. And to me, what that says is that what you build isn't as important as how you build it. And we're really interested in kind of changing how we build things from the ONF, right? To have much more of a community approach, much more of the operators putting skin in the game, understanding how to actually make these things happen and turn this into an engine. So thank you. And then from AT&T, this is really the most important thing. So we really want to have this transformation of ONF into something that's much more of a carrier community, creating software that is like a community. It means that, you can't just come and pay to play or send somebody to listen to what's going on and bring it back and develop a proprietary product. That really, opinions are nice, but working code is better, right? Bringing code to the table makes a lot of sense and makes you extremely persuasive. It means that we shouldn't have so much religion. And I know, people who poke at the ONF has always said they really only like the technologies that they've built at home. And we've talked already earlier in the day, it's not going to be like that. We're going to pull in other open source communities. We're going to build bridges, and if they want to bring in a different controller, Guru said this before, you can bring it. I might not work on it, but these sorts of things have to happen, because if it's only the little things that come from ONF, it's not going to go very far, right? Lots of the carriers, all of the carriers, I would say, have already deployed something or another that they're wedded to that didn't come from ONF in the first place. So it's the only way to win. So carriers really need to put skin in the game for this to work. And we do need to partner and avoid being cliquish in terms of what we develop, right? And so once again, all of these deliverables we've talked about are really good, and I do really want them, don't forget. Don't get me wrong, it's like show me the money. But really, ultimately, we're very interested in having this sort of culture, engineering tools, and the people and processes set up for us to all succeed together. So, thank you. That was not even 10 minutes, was it? And of course, the same obligatory logo.